study the very words of the Buddha, to study the real words of the Buddha from the original discourses, and to practice the Dhamma in accordance with the teachings of the Buddha. For this purpose, this year we have selected two different discourses to study. Tonight we are going to study the first discourse, which is the greater discourse to Mahavacchagotta. Before we start this discussion, Sutta study, we are going to chant Metta discourse in English, and thereafter we need to relax for a few minutes, meditation for a few minutes, then followed by the study of the Sutta. Let's all together chant Metta discourse. Metta, love and friendliness. All together. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, lone or large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless love and friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, or sitting, lying down or in awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divine dwelling here, not falling into erroneous waves, but virtuous endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now let's relax, meditate for a couple minutes. Close your eyes gently. Keep the body straight, upright body. And observe your body from top to bottom. Relax each and every muscle. Give attention to your shoulders and relax the muscles. Relax your shoulders. Give attention to your chest and relax. Give attention to your stomach and relax the muscles. Now observe back. Observe all over the back and relax the muscles. Observe your spinal cord from top to bottom, from neck all the way down, and relax. Release tension, tightness. Release. Now calm your body, relax your body, relax your mind, calm your mind. Keep a calm and quiet mind. Now give your full attention to the tip of your nose and observe your breath. Observe your natural breath for a while. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. let's understand, let's study this sutta. Tonight we are going to study the sutta from Majjhima Nikaya, middle length teachings of the Buddha. MN stands for Majjhima Nikaya. This is Sutta number 73, the great discourse to Mahavacchagotta. Vacchagotta is the name of the wanderer, name of a person. You can read the synopsis of the sutta and understand what it is, then you know the gist of the sutta. You can read yourself. Can you see it? Can you see the gist? What? Huh? Too small? Why is that? That's not my problem. This Diga's problem. Anyway, I will read it for you. The synopsis. This is to understand what's wholesome and unwholesome, and the illustriousness, perfection, and the accomplishment of the dispensation of the Buddha. As the wanderer Vacchagotta approached the Buddha and questioned him, the accomplishment of the dispensation, the Buddha delivered this discourse to point out how his dispensation was fully accomplished with all stages of persons in the holy life. Even while in the lay life, Buddha's dispensation is not only for monks and nuns. The whole teaching is for the fourfold Sangha without any discrimination. That is the synopsis of the discourse. Okay. Thus have I heard. This is how most discourses starts. This part is not the word of the Buddha, but the word of Venerable Ananda. You know, there was a council after passing away of the Buddha. 3 months after passing, there was a council where 500 arahants got together to rehearse the Dhamma, to understand what the Buddha really said. Where Venerable Ananda was questioned by the president of the council, Venerable Mahākassapa. When Venerable Mahākassapa questioned, he asked, where did the Buddha deliver this particular discourse? What was the purpose of this, delivering this discourse? To whom it was delivered, like that? Then Venerable Ananda said, thus have I heard. Means this is how I heard. Heard from where? From whom? From the Buddha. This is how I heard from the lips of the Buddha, from the very words of the Buddha. That's what. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, the squirrel's sanctuary. That is the background of the discourse. So when I read this and explain, if you need anything more clarification, stop me and ask questions. It's all right. We are here to study the discourse, to get the meaning, real meaning of the Buddha's teaching. Okay. Then the wanderer, Vacchagotta. Vacchagotta is in bold letters. Why? Vacchagotta, we need to understand a little bit about him. That's why the words is bolded. Blackboard. Vacchagotta was a wanderer. He had several discussions, several conversations with the Buddha. Buddha has delivered several discourses to him. In the Majjhima Nikaya itself, there are three discourses. Once he went to the Buddha and asked about the Buddha's omnipotence. Omnipotence means people say the Buddha is the knower of everything. Sarvajna, Sabbhanyu. Buddha knows everything. Whatever the Buddha is doing, whether he is standing, walking, sitting, or lying down, he knows everything. That is how people believe. He went to the Buddha and asked this. Then Buddha said, no, that's not correct. Buddha knows everything. If the Buddha focuses on a particular subject, on that particular subject, he knows everything. Not all the time like you turn on your TV. Then everything is going on, playing. Not that. Sometimes Buddha does not know what is happening right behind him. Once a thunder struck, people died, cows died over there. Buddha did not know that. So when this person, Vacchagotta, went to the Buddha and he asked whether the Buddha knows everything. Where Buddha explained in that, and Buddha gave this one discourse. That is called 𝐻𝐡𝐴𝑉𝑗𝑗 Sutta, another discourse. Don't worry about that name right now. Another discourse. And then another time, he went to the Buddha and asked, Bhante, is the world eternal? Then Buddha kept silent. They didn't want to answer these questions. Whether the world is eternal, not eternal, whether the world is finite or infinite, whether the body and the soul one, or whether the body and the soul are two different things, whether the enlightened one after his death, whether the enlightened one exists or not exist, neither exist, nor exist, neither no existed, no non-exist, like that he asks 10 questions. Buddha kept silent. Because all these questions were not relevant. Not relevant for what? Not relevant for the liberation, for one's liberation, peaceful living. You don't need to know whether the world is eternal or not. Like that. Referring to that, Buddha gave another discourse, which is the discourse on fire, where Buddha gave the simile of the fire, like that. So Buddha delivered several discourses to Vacchagotta. Okay, then the wanderer Vacchagotta went to the Blessed One and exchanged greetings with him. When this courteous and amicable talk was finished, he sat down at one side and said to the Blessed One, I have had conversations with Master Gautama for a long time. That is referring to the early discourses, what I mentioned. It would be good if Master Gautama would teach me in brief the wholesome and the unwholesome. In the synopsis, we mentioned the where we can understand what is wholesome and unwholesome. Wholesome and unwholesome are not punya. You know, there are two things, punya and kusala, two different terms. Punya means even for punya, the English term used is wholesome. The term wholesome is used to denote, to explain what punya is. To explain kusala, this English term is not sufficient enough. Wholesome. However, since it is given here, I put within bracket, I put the word kusala and akusala. Punya, wholesome and unwholesome. Kusala means what? Kusala. Sala means drop. Sala means drop. Ku means impurities. Impurity. You drop impurities. Once you drop impurities from your mind, that mental state is called kusala. It is not merit. We all do meritorious deed. Not only today. From dim past, even before the Buddha, people did many different types of meritorious deed. Like offering dana, observing sila, and simple meditations like concentration meditation. Those are called kusala. Those are called punya. People did all this. They did unwholesome, they did wholesome, what you call punya, and then also they practiced jhana even. Even jhanas are not kusala. Jhanas are also punya, which lead us to samsara. Samsara. Kusala leads us to nibbana, liberation. So then akusala, kusala is its opposite. Kusala and akusala. That's the difference between the two. I guess it is clear to you. Clear enough to you all. Okay. The Buddha said, I can teach you the wholesome and the unwholesome, kusala and akusala, in brief vacha. And I can teach you the wholesome and the unwholesome at length. Still, I will teach you the wholesome and the unwholesome in brief. Listen and attend closely to what I shall say. Yes, sir, he replied. The Blessed One said this. Vacha, greed is unwholesome. Greed is unwholesome. Greed is akusala. Instead, unwholesome, you can remember the word akusala. Unwholesome, akusala. This English term, I am not happy with the translations. Akusala, when the Buddha said akusala, it hit my mind clearly, the meaning. Akusala means greed. Buddha said akusala, greed is unwholesome, akusala. It's not kusala. Not greed is wholesome. Not greed is kusala. Hate is unwholesome. Non-hate is wholesome. Delusion is unwholesome. Non-delusion is wholesome. That is the Buddha's clear explanation. Greed, hate, and delusion are unwholesome. In this way, three things are unwholesome and the other three things are wholesome. Non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion. These are wholesome. That's the difference. Now, explanation a little bit more. We have to understand the difference between kusala and punya. Punya, in English, mostly we use the term merit for punya. Merit and demerit. Merit, whatever we do, merit, meritorious deeds, all sort of merit. There are merits are something we leave behind as causes. Whenever we have causes, we have to expect results, effects. Punya, when you do punya, all punya has their own results. When we do good deeds, we can be born in good places. For instance, in heaven. Then we reap the results. Once we're done, once we are expired, we have to come back. It is not the end of the samsaric journey. That is kusala, that is what you call punya, merit. Demerit, nothing to say about demerit. If we do demerit, we go to the hells. We are born in hungry ghost realm, or in hells, or in animal realm, as the results of unwholesome, what you call demerit. Merit, again, in samsara. The Buddha's teaching is not to go to samsara, but to stop it here, right here. Stop. The way to stop is developing kusala. Punya we hoard. We collect punya. Punya is to collect. To leave behind punya. Leave behind your mind. Not in the brain, but in the mind. Punya. Kusala. Not hoarding, not collecting. Kusala is to develop. Punya is to collect. Once you collect things, you have to suffer on it. Once you develop your skills, kusala is developing your skills. You develop kusala. Once you develop kusala, it is not a burden. It is the way to see things as they really are. That is how you develop your wisdom. You have no greed, no hatred, no delusion. That is what is called kusala. Okay, para fifth. Killing living beings is unwholesome. Killing is killing. That is the first precept for Buddhist, not only for Buddhist. Cultured people, civilized people never kill. Even an ant, you cannot kill. You cannot get one to kill for you, get another one to kill for you. That is the second way that you break the precept. You break the precept by killing yourself. You can break the precept, getting somebody else to kill for you. You say, no, I can't kill it. I'm observing Seela. I go to BA to meditate, so I can't do that. You ask your son, your wife, your husband to kill cockroach, maybe a cockroach, maybe a snake. That you get. You get the half of the unwholesome deed results. The third method is you approve killing. Seeing killing, you become happy. Oh, great. Wow, done. You become happy. All the three ways you are breaking the first precepts. Whether you kill it, whether you get somebody else to kill for you, or you become happy, you approve by supporting killing. If you are supporting killing, that itself is wrong. Other precepts are the same. So Buddha said, killing living beings is unwholesome. Abstaining from killing living beings is wholesome. Taking what is not given is unwholesome. Abstention from taking what is not given is wholesome. Misconduct in sensual pleasures is unwholesome. This translation is wrong. Not sensual pleasures. It should be sexual pleasures. That is what is called kāmesu micchāchāra. In the precepts, kāmesu micchāchāra means misconduct in sexual pleasures. Because the Buddha categorized the society into 10 different groups and pointed out what sexual misconduct is. So, for the palatable translation, easy translation, and to please the people, they translate like this. I don't like that. I want to show what the Buddha really said in the original discourses. Misconduct in sexual pleasures is unwholesome. That is misconduct. Please don't misunderstand. Abstention from misconduct in sexual pleasures is wholesome. False speech is unwholesome. Abstention from false speech is wholesome. Malicious speech is unwholesome. Abstention from malicious speech is wholesome. Harsh speech is unwholesome. Abstention from harsh speech is wholesome. Gossip is unwholesome. Abstention from gossip is wholesome. Covetousness is unwholesome. Uncovetousness is wholesome. Ill will is unwholesome. Non-ill will is wholesome. Wrong view is unwholesome. Right view is wholesome. In this way, 10 things are unwholesome and the other 10 things are wholesome. That is how the Buddha explained the difference between wholesome and unwholesome. When a bhikkhu has abandoned craving, cut it off at the root, made it like a palm stump, done away with it so that it is no longer subject to future rising, then that bhikkhu is an arahant. When the Buddha used the bhikkhu here, we have to understand it's not only for bhikkhus. The term bhikkhu is used because all the time the monks were around him, next to him. Wherever the Buddha visited, monks were there with him. So the Buddha addressed them. Buddha used the term bhikkhu, though we have to understand this is for the fourfold Sangha. Bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, upasaka and upasika. The whole teaching of the Buddha is for the fourfold Sangha, not only for bhikkhus. Then that bhikkhu is an arahant with taints destroyed. With taint destroyed. Why again black letters, bold letters? Taints. What are the taints? Taints are to be understood. Taints are the most subtlest form of defilement, which are to go at last, last to go, last to remove. Taints, the most subtlest form of taints. You know, there are different levels of defilement, different levels. The last level, last thing to go is called taints. The Pali term, I know there was somebody here wanted Pali terms also. Some of my friends here, they want Pali, though we don't use Pali this time. We don't use Pali. Yeah. Certain words. It is better understand certain words. Taints are, the Pali term for taint is asava. Asava. Asava means the defilements, the impurities which were accumulated in the mind for a long time. Taints. There are three types of taints. Taints of sensuality, kamasava, taints of existence, bhavasava, and taints of avijjasava, taints of ignorance, taints of sensuality, taints of existence, and taints of ignorance. These are the three types of asava, taints. The most subtlest form of impurities in our mind. Once you cut off this, you become an enlightened person, arahant. Arahant, that concept also need to be understood. Perhaps there are people here, I don't know. Some people, as they follow Mahayana tradition, they know only few arahants. They know only 18 arahants. In Mahayana tradition, they have only 18 arahants. Others cannot become arahants, according to Mahayana tradition. They all have to practice, develop, they have to all practice Bodhisattva tradition, which is different from that of Theravada tradition. The Theravada tradition is the mainstream. According to that, everybody can become an arahant. Whereas in Mahayana, no arahants. No arahants. That is the difference. Okay. One who has lived the holy life Done what had to be done. Finish. Laid down the burden. Laid down the burden. What is that burden? The burden is the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. There is a discourse in the connected discourses. There's a discourse named burden, where the Buddha clearly said what the burden is. Burden of the 5 aggregates. So what are the 5 aggregates? Form, feelings, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. These are the 5. Where are these 5? Is this the 5 aggregates? Is this the 5 aggregates? Some people say we die. When we die, some people say you leave behind 5 aggregates and go. That means this body. Oh, this is not 5 aggregates. This body is not, this is the body. Buddha used the term sarira or kaya. Kalebara. Imasminjeva Bhyamamatte kalebare. Those are the terms used to this body. Body is not 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates are in our senses, in the 6 senses. So lay down the burden means he has no, the enlightened one has no burden of the 5 aggregates. Still he has 5 aggregates. Though he attained full enlightenment as Arahant, he has 5 aggregates. In order to live, one has to have 5 aggregates. But the enlightened, the difference is that enlightened ones, they have no no grasping of 5 aggregates. No grasping. Laid down the burden, they have left behind the burden of 5 aggregates. Reach the true goal. Destroy the fetters of being. Destroy the fetters. Sangyojana. Better. Fetters are sangyojana. Burden. Bhara. Ohita Bhara is a name for the enlightened ones. And is completely liberated through final knowledge. Now, yes. Yeah.
In the killing, there's 3 ways I will get the karma, right? So if I tell my son not to kill, but he still kill because he's not Buddhist, then am I responsible? Did I approve it?
If you ask your son to kill.
Not to kill. Not to kill. Because don't want to kill.
Don't kill.
Yeah, because I think it's not right to kill, but he killed.
It is your responsibility.
Well, I told him.
It is your responsibility to avoid him killing. As the father, you know what responsibility is? Your duty is. It is the father's duty to avoid the son doing unwholesome deeds. And it is your responsibility to engage him doing good deeds. There are 5 responsibilities of father and the mother. That is the problem. He is big now. That's the problem. You had to have started this when they were very young, little ones. Now you can't do that. That's the problem. Huh? You, yeah, you are responsible to avoid them doing unwholesome. It is one of your duties. Hmm? There are 5 duties to be fulfilled by parents towards their children. And in return, there are 5 duties to be fulfilled by children towards their parents. If there are they have fulfilled these duties, then they can be happy. Otherwise, problem. Okay. Okay, now Vacchagotta start to talk. When the Buddha explained this, he says, all the while he was listening to the Buddha. Now he is going to talk. He says, apart from Master Gautama, is there any one bhikkhu, Master Gautama's disciple, who by realizing for himself with direct knowledge here and now enters upon and abides in the deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of the taints? That is his question. That means simply he asks, now apart from Bhante, is there any one bhikkhu, at least one bhikkhu, who has this experience, who has liberated himself? That is the question. Then the Buddha said, there are not only 100, not only 100 vacha, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 500, but far more bhikkhus, more than 500 bhikkhus, my disciples, who by realizing for themselves with direct knowledge here and now, this you to understand the word clearly. Here and now, not in the heaven, not in the Brahma world, not nowhere else. Attainment of enlightenment. Liberation is possible here, in this very world. That is why he said, here and now. 𝐒𝐔𝐓𝐓, here. 𝐒𝐔𝐓𝐿𝑜𝑘. Here and now, enter upon and abide in the deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of the taints, complete destruction of taints. Once, as I said, the Pali term for taints is asava. Once you cut off all asava, you become khina asava. Khina asava is an epithet for arahant. Khina asava. Deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom. What are these two? Deliverance of mind means you develop concentration and then you can gain different types of knowledge, like 5 knowledge or 6 types of knowledge. With that you become an arahant. Cheto vimukti. Pali word is cheto vimukti. And deliverance by wisdom means you don't want to develop concentration that much. You don't want to develop jhana. You don't want to get all the kind of knowledge. But mainly you practice concentrate your mind for some limited extent, and then switch to insight, and through wisdom you become an arahant, enlightened one. That is what is called deliverance by wisdom. Practicing, developing directly wisdom, vipassana meditation. That is the difference between two. These are two different types of liberation that are taintless with the destruction of the taints. Now his question is, well, if apart from Master Gautama and the bhikkhus, is there any one bhikkhuni?
Bhante, what are the 5 knowledges you mentioned for deliverance of
5 knowledges
one?
are not necessarily for Buddhist, even non-Buddhist rishis before the Buddha, even before the Buddha, they developed 5 types of knowledge. They had the power, like ability to perform miracles, iddhi vidanyana. Then ability to see others' minds, read others' mind. Ability to understand their previous lives. Ability to understand, see how beings are born to this world and how they depart here and are born somewhere else. And ability to listen to the sounds, human or divine. These 5 are not Buddhist, not the Buddha's revelation, not the Buddha's sort of discovery. The Buddha's peculiar, the specific knowledge that the Buddha gained was the complete destruction of taints. Asavakkaya jnana. All the other 5 are in general to everybody, whoever practice meditation. Apart from Master Gautama, now his question is whether there are bhikkhunis. Master Gautama, disciple who by realizing for himself with direct knowledge here and now enters upon and abides in the deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of taints. Then the Buddha said, there are not only 100, 200, 300, 500, but far more bhikkhunis, my disciples, bhikkhunis, my disciples, who by realizing for themselves with direct knowledge here and now enter upon and abide in the deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of taints. Then there are bhikkhunis in this, bhikkhus in this sasana, enlightened bhikkhus, enlightened bhikkhunis. Then his question is, apart from Master Gautama and the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, is there any one man lay follower, Master Gautama's disciple, one man, Master Gautama's disciple, clothed in white, leading a life of celibacy, celibacy man, who with the destruction of the 5 lower fetters will reappear spontaneously in the pure abodes, and they are attain final nibbana without ever returning from that world. Any question about that? Is it clear to you? Now his question is whether there is any one particular celibate man. Buddha said there are not only 100, not 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, but more men, lay followers, my disciples, clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy, who with the destruction of the taint, 5 lower fetters, will reappear spontaneously. Spontaneously reappear means reappear, manifesting in the pure abodes. And they attain final Nibbana without ever returning from that world. That is called non-return. Yeah?
They don't have to come because they are not from the human realm anymore, so they don't have to be liberated from the human realm. From other realms, they can also be liberated.
No other realms.
Because pure abodes.
But only in this pure abodes. They are never returners. They never return. Once you are born there, after complete destruction of the lower fetters, 5 lower fetters, beings are born. Beings means humans. Humans are born in that particular realm, which is called pure abodes. Then non-returners, they are non-returners. They do never want to return. But if they need to return, if they need to visit here, it's okay. There are some cases. There are some cases in the discourses. Some of them just visited their friends. When the friends were not on right path, they came here to help them, according to some stories. So that means they can visit, but they are not returning to be born here. So they can finish their samsaric journey over there. That is the meaning.
So they don't have to be a human. You can be a human, become a non-returner,
Yeah, right.
and then come.
Because they have done their, they have cut off their fetters. There are 5 fetters, lower fetters, all gone. Therefore, they can finish their samsaric journey over there. Now, his question is, apart from Master Gautama, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and men lay followers clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy, is there any one man lay follower, Master Gautama's disciple, clothed in white, enjoying sensual pleasures? Enjoying sensual pleasures, who carries out his instruction, responds to his advice, has gone beyond doubt, become free from perplexity, gain intrepidity, and become independent of others in the teacher's dispensation. Is there any man? There are not only 100, Buddha again said, not only 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, but far more men, lay followers, my disciples clothed in white, enjoying sensual pleasures, who carry out my instruction, respond to my advice, have gone beyond doubt, become free from perplexity, gain intrepidity, and become independent of others in the teacher's dispensation. There are lay persons also, lay men. Apart from Master Gautama, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and the men lay followers clothed in white, both those leading lives of celibacy and those enjoying sensual pleasures, is there any one woman lay follower, Master Gautama's disciple, clothed in white, leading a life of celibacy, woman celibacy? A celibate woman. Is there anyone? Who with the destruction of the 5 lower fetters will reappear spontaneously in the pure abodes and they are attain final Nibbana without ever returning from that world? The other question, there are not only 100 celibate women, 200, 300, 400, 500, but far more women, lay followers, my disciples, clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy, who with the destruction of the five lower fetters will reappear spontaneously in the pure abodes, and there attain final nibbana without ever returning from that world. Now the question is, apart from Master Gautama, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, and the men lay followers clothed in white, both those leading lives of celibacy and those enjoying sensual pleasures, and the women lay followers clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy. Is there any one woman lay follower, Master Gautama's disciple, clothed in white, enjoying sensual pleasures? Woman, a simple woman, who carries out his instruction, responds to his advice, has gone beyond doubt, become free from perplexity, gain intrepidity, and become independent of others in the teacher's dispensation. The Buddha said there are not only 100, 3, 2, 3, 4, 500, but far more women, lay followers, my disciples, clothed in white, enjoying sensual pleasures, who carry out my instruction, respond to my advice, have gone beyond doubt, become free from perplexity, gain intrepidity, and become independent of others in the teacher's dispensation.
Bhante, is this Sotapanna? This paragraph for the men and women beyond doubt.
Intrepidity, independent, Sotapanna.
Thank you, Bhante.
Master Gautama, if only Master Gautama were accomplished. Now he says, now it's clear. It's clear, the sasana, this is the glory. This is the eminence, this is the prominence, glory, fame of the sasana, the dispensation. How the dispensation is very well established. This is the fame of the sasana. The monks, nuns, lay women, lay men, all are there in this sasana. Now he says, Master Gautama, if only Master Gautama were accomplished in this Dhamma, but no bhikkhus were accomplished, then this holy life would be deficient in that respect. But because Master Gautama and bhikkhus are accomplished in this Dhamma, this holy life is thus complete in that respect. If only Master Gautama and bhikkhus were accomplished in this Dhamma, but no bhikkhunis were accomplished, then this holy life would be deficient in that respect. But because Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis are accomplished in this Dhamma, this holy life is thus complete in that respect. If only Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis were accomplished in this Dhamma, but no men, lay followers clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy were accomplished, then this holy life would be deficient in that respect. But because Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and men, lay followers clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy are accomplished in this Dhamma, this holy life is thus complete in that respect. It's a complete sasana. This is the point. It's a complete sasana. Buddha's dispensation is a complete one, not deficient. If only Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and men lay followers clothed in white leading lives of celibacy were accomplished in this Dhamma, but no men lay followers clothed in white enjoying sensual pleasures were accomplished, then this holy life would be deficient in that respect. But because Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and men lay followers clothed in white, both those leading lives of celibacy and those enjoying sensual pleasures are accomplished in this Dhamma. This holy life is thus complete in that respect. If only Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and men lay followers clothed in white were accomplished in this Dhamma, but no women lay followers clothed in white leading lives of celibacy were accomplished, then this holy life would be deficient in that respect. But because Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, men lay followers clothed in white and women lay followers clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy are accomplished in this Dhamma, this holy life is thus complete in that respect. If only Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, men lay followers clothed in white and women lay followers clothed in white, leading lives of celibacy were accomplished in this Dhamma, but no women lay followers clothed in white enjoying sensual pleasures were accomplished, then this holy life would be deficient in that respect. But because Master Gautama, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis were bhikkhunis, men lay followers clothed in white, both those leading lives of celibacy and those enjoying sensual pleasures, and women lay followers clothed in white, both those leading lives of celibacy and those enjoying sensual pleasures are accomplished in this Dhamma. This holy life is thus complete in that respect. Just as the river Ganges inclines towards the sea, slopes towards the sea, flows towards the sea, and merges with the sea, so too Master Gautama's assembly with its homeless ones and its householders inclines towards Nibbana, slopes towards Nibbana, flows towards Nibbana, and merges with Nibbana. Merges with Nibbana. All Sasana is open for all the fourfold Sangha. This is the meaning. See? Clothes in white.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
As it like we are not clothed in white. We try to follow the Dhamma. Yes.
Lay
as in-
followers are normally clothed in white. White cloth means purity. Purity. That is why people wear white when they attend different events like in temples, especially on the full moon days, new moon, half moon. People in Sri Lanka, I know well, Sri Lankans, they use, when you go to Sri Lanka and the ancient capital, Anuradhapura, during the Buddha's birthday or the day that the Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka, everywhere white. All people, all The lay persons in white.
In white and in 8 precepts, observing the 8 precepts.
8 precepts or 5 precepts, whether they even they observe 5 precepts. But yeah, that you are correct. Mainly when they observe 8 precepts, they use white cloth.
Thank you, Bhante.
White, when you wear white, you can feel that your body is clean, purified body, purified mind. When you go to observe Sila, your mind is clear mind, clean. That's why. White is good. Even when the people attend a funeral, they wear white. Here also some people like to do that. I went to a service last night. Many people in white, right? They were in white. That's good. Yes.
Hi, Bhante. This passage about lay person, when they reach Sotapanna, I guess the last set of lay men and lay person who still have, who are enjoying sensual pleasures, but they manage to, but they do follow the Dhamma and so on. And if as a lay person, you manage to become a Sotapanna, a stream enterer, would you be then be considered as part of the Sangha? Because you said that this discourse at the beginning, you said that it is for the four types of Sangha, which I presume is the Sotapanna, Sakayadami, Anagami, and Arahants. So I guess you're referring to that.
Sotapanna itself is a part of the Sangha. He or she becomes a part of Sangha.
Okay, so as a lay person, if you practice, you would then be considered as part of the Sangha then.
That is what is called noble one.
The noble one. I see.
Noble Sangha.
So even though you're a lay person, but
then
you
become a Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. And that is
one,
a fourfold Sangha. Fourfold Sangha.
I understand, but that would refer to those at a temple. But if you as a lay person and you practice and you manage to become a Sotapanna, then would you consider yourself as part of the 4 types of people? Is that?
What is that?
Oh, she did, is it? Okay, thank you. Sorry, very slow.
Bhante.
Yeah.
In the passage here, for the holy life to be complete, you have the fourfold Sangha, the bhikkhu, bhikkhunis, the lay male followers and the lay female followers. Then what I don't understand is why, so you think you want to encourage bhikkhunis so that for women to have the opportunity to be bhikkhunis so that you can have the conditions to help you achieve that, the path. So what I don't understand is why there is so much opposition when it is so clear here to having the bhikkhuni sangha.
You mean no bhikkhuni sangha?
I mean, there's a lot of opposition to having bhikkhunis.
Well, now there is the bhikkhuni, the re-establishment of bhikkhuni orders done.
It's done, but there is still a lot of opposition and difficulty.
Yeah, that is up to the lay women to come forward and get their ordination. If they are ready, now the sasana is open, so they can get their ordination and practice. So there are thousands of bhikkhunis now in the world.
But the conditions are quite difficult. Some is not, they may want to become bhikkhunis, but they don't have places to be ordained, and there are obstacles to starting a bhikkhuni.
There are
place.
obstacles, that is correct. But if they want to, there are places, there are temples, they can keep their own monasteries, nunneries. They can maintain their own nunneries. They have full freedom to continue their bhikkhuni lives. Now in Sri Lanka, specifically in Sri Lanka, we started bhikkhuni order, re-established bhikkhuni order in 1996. We means I am one of the pioneers. That is why I said, we. We selected 10 nuns for the high ordination. And then we trained them in Sri Lanka, in my temple, under the guidance of my teacher. I am one of the teachers to train the 10 group. Even the last day, as they were ready to leave to India to get their high ordination from Sarnath, the last day, last night, even I taught them, I trained them the last night before their departure to India. So I went from place to place and had some awareness programs introducing the significance of having bhikkhunis in this sasana, like fourfold sangha, like the four wheels of the car. That's how I help them. So we, in Sri Lanka, we help, well, there are some, they are opposing, that's true. There are barriers, though now there are about, I guess about 2,000 nuns in Sri Lanka, full-fledged nuns. So some other traditions I know, there are some traditions, some countries, they are not allowed, that's true. However, if they want to become nuns, they can practice, they can have their own nunneries, they can do their daily performance without any hesitation. Okay. Okay, let's come to the last point, I guess. Not that last, not the last one. Okay, now he says, magnificent Master Gautama, magnificent Master Gautama. Master Gautama has made the Dhamma clear in many ways, as though he were turning upright what had been overthrown. Like this, upthrown. Revealing what was hidden, showing the way to one who was lost, or holding up a lamp in the dark for those with eyesight to see forms. I go to Master Gautama for refuge, and to the Dhamma and to the Sangha of bhikkhus. I would receive the going forth under Master Gautama. I would receive the full admission. That is his request. He asked Buddha to keep him as one of his disciples. he asked Buddha to give him ordination and high ordination. That is the meaning. Let's see what happens. Vacha, the Buddha said, Vacha, one who formerly belonged to another sect and desires the going forth and the full admission in this Dhamma and discipline. Dhamma and discipline is the sasana. Lives on probation for 4 months. If one comes to the sasana, this dispensation from another sect, it is necessary to have the probation for 4 months. That is the meaning. At the end of 4 months, if the bhikkhus are satisfied with him, they give him the going forth and the full admission to the bhikkhu's state. That is with the satisfaction of the community. But I recognize individual differences in this matter. Buddha said, this is the condition. Buddha said, this is the condition. If one is coming to get the ordination and high ordination in this sasana from another sect, the condition is that he has to undergo the probation for 4 months. But there are certain cases. Buddha pointed out the case here. I recognize individual differences in this matter. Venerable Sir, now he says, Venerable Sir, if those who formerly belong to another sect and desire the going forth and the full admission in this Dhamma and discipline live on probation for 4 months, and if at the end of the 4 months the bhikkhus been satisfied with them, give them the going forth and the full admission to the bhikkhu state, then I will live on probation for 4 years instead 4 months. He says, Bhante, I am ready to undergo probation for 4 years. He was such an individual now. Vacchagotta. He is ready to go, not probation for 4 months, but 4 years. He is ready. At the end of the 4 years, if the bhikkhus are satisfied with me, let them give me the going forth and the full admission to the bhikkhu state. Then the wanderer Vacchagotta received the going forth under the Blessed One, and he received the full admission. Not long after his full admission, a half month after his full admission, the Venerable Vacchagotta went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, he sat down at one side and told the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, I have attained whatever can be attained by the knowledge of the disciple in higher training. By the true knowledge of a disciple in higher training, let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma further. In that case, Vacha developed further 2 things. Now he practiced, and Buddha instructed him to practice 2 more things. Continue. What are the 2 things? What are the 2 things? Serenity and insight. Samatha vipassana. When these 2 things are developed further, they will lead to the penetration of many elements. Penetration is vipassana. To the extent that you may wish, may I wield the various kind of supernormal power. Having been one, may I become many. Having been many, may I become one. May I appear and vanish. May I go unhindered through a wall, through an enclosure through a mountain as though through space. May I dive in and out of the earth as though it were water. May I walk on water without sinking as though it were earth. Seated cross-legged, may I travel in space like a bird. With my hand, may I touch and stroke the moon and sun, so powerful and mighty. May I wield bodily mastery even as far as the Brahma world. You will attain the ability to witness any aspect within therein, there being a suitable basis. That is the first knowledge you can of the five knowledge. The enlightened ones, the Arahants, when the Arahants, all Arahants have to have these three types of knowledge, which are called Te Vijja. The first one is performing miracles, ability to perform miracles. To the extent that you may wish, may I wish the divine ear element, which is purified and surpasses the human. Hear both kinds of sounds, the divine and the human, those with that are far as well as near. You will attain the ability to witness any aspect therein, there being a suitable basis. To the extent that you may wish, may I understand the minds of other beings, of other persons. These are different, the five knowledges, right? We don't want to read all this too much. And may I recollect my manifold past lives. And next one, to the extent that you may wish, may I with the divine eye, which is purified and surpasses the human, see beings passing away and reappearing. These are the knowledge that you can gain, but not necessarily to each and every person to gain these different knowledges, different types of knowledges. To the extent that you may wish, may I, by realizing for myself with direct knowledge here and now, enter upon and abide in the deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of the taints. Then the Venerable Vajjagotta, having delighted and rejoiced in the Blessed One's words, rose from his seat, and after paying homage to the Blessed One, keeping him on his right, he departed. Before long, dwelling alone, without withdrawn, diligent, ardent and resolute, the Venerable Vajjagotta, by realizing for himself with direct knowledge, here and now, again, here and now, entered upon and abided in that supreme goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the home life into homelessness. He directly knew birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived, what had to be done has been done, there is no more coming to any state of being. That is the realization, that is what you can proclaim once you attain full enlightenment. You can say that birth is done. No more birth to me. Birth destroyed. Holy life has been lived. I have lived this holy life. Done what had to be done. There's no more coming to be born, coming to this state. Okay, now On that occasion, a number of bhikkhus were going to see the Blessed One. The Venerable Vacchagotta saw them coming in the distance. Seeing them, he went to them and asked them, where are you, where are the Venerable Ones going? We are going to see the Blessed One, friend. In that case, may the Venerable Ones pay homage in my name with their heads at the Blessed One's feet, saying, Venerable Sir, the Bhikkhu Vacchagotta pays homage with his feet at the Blessed One's feet. With his head, with his head at the Blessed One's feet. Then say, the Blessed One has been worshipped by me, the Sublime One has been worshipped by me. Yes, friend. Those bhikkhus replied. Then they went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, they sat down at one side and told the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, the Venerable Vacchagotta pays homage with him, his head at the Blessed One's feet, and he says, the Blessed One has been worshipped by me, the Sublime One has been worshipped by me. Because having encompassed his mind with my own mind, I already knew of the Bhikkhu Vacchagotta. The Bhikkhu Vacchagotta has attained the threefold true knowledge. What are the threefold true knowledge? The knowledge of his previous lives, ability to understand his previous life. These are called triple knowledge. All arahants have this triple knowledge, ability to understand his previous life. Then the ability to see how beings are born to this world and they pass and are born somewhere else. And then complete destruction of defilement. These are called Trividya. The Bhikkhu Vacchagotta has attained the threefold true knowledge and has great supernormal power and might. And deities also told me this. The Bhikkhu Vacchagotta has attained the threefold true knowledge and has great supernormal power and might. That is what the Blessed One said. Those bhikkhus were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. We have 15 minutes more. If you have any question.
Bhante, question, Bhante. Just now in the sutta, if we can scroll up again, Bhante, maybe at the paragraph number 20th or 22nd, I forgot.
22nd. Yeah.
Further up, Bhante, maybe further up. Akhir, 19.
19.
Correct. Yeah. The part where Vacchagotta declared that I have attained whatever can be attained by the knowledge of a disciple in the higher training.
Which one? 19?
Yes, 19. The second last row. Right. There, starting from Venerable Sir.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I have attained whatever can be attained by the knowledge of a disciple in the higher training. And further down is that by the true knowledge of a disciple in the higher training. What is that knowledge that he's referring to?
Sit down and pay homage unto him. He sat down, sat and told him, Venerable Sir, I have attained whatever can be attained by the knowledge of a disciple in higher training, by the true knowledge of a disciple in higher training. Higher training is, let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma further. Adhisikha. I want to say, check this in the Pali. This is not clear enough. I guess, let me see. Have you got Pali script here?
The Pali script. Maybe I open the Sutta Central.
Not, okay. Sutta Central Pali.
And
Or if you bring my phone in from my room,
oh,
then I can. You have Pali? Can you give it to me? Chavatakam Bhante Sekhena Jnanena Sekaya Vijjaya Pattabam. Sekhena Jnanena means Sekha is the one who has practiced, developed, and attained either Sotapanna, Sakadagami, or Anagami. They are called Sekha. So whatever, he says, whatever the knowledge that I can gain by practicing, developing these three stages, I have done this. That is what he says. Yavatakang bhante sekena jnanena sekaya vijjaya. Seka jnana means knowledge. Vijja means his knowledge and experience. He has gained this. That means he must have come to past these three levels. He wanted to practice further. Anupubbang tang maya. Anupattang. Not anupubbang. Anupattang. Anupattang means I have come to that level. I have completed this. Tam maya. Uttaring chame bhagava dhammang deshetu. Venerable Sir, please teach me further to complete this. That means in order to attain full enlightenment, please teach me, Bhante. I have done the first steps. Understand? Any other question?
think no more questions. We can end there, Bhante, by sharing merits.
Let's wind up with
Yes.
sharing merit with the departed ones and the devas. Since we got together, we observed precepts and we meditated, and also we discussed this wonderful discourse of the Buddha. By doing all this, we acquire a great deal of merit. We share this merit with the departed ones. May all our dearly departed relatives rejoice this merit. May their sansaric journey be peaceful. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. With that good thoughts, let's recite the stanza. Idang me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. May all deities, devas rejoice this merit. May they protect us by the power of all this merit. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. With that good thought, let's recite this stanza to share merit with the devas. Ākāsattha ca bhummattā devānāgā mahittikā puññaṃ taṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhaṃtu loka sāsanaṃ. Ākāsattha ca bhummattā devānāgā mahittikā puññaṃ taṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhaṃtu Dhamma desanaṃ. Ākāsattha ca bhummattā devānāgā mahittikā puññaṃ taṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhaṃtu maṃ paraṃ. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. By the power of all this merit, may all beings attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante. Let's do 3 prostrations, and then tomorrow we have another session for the sutta study.
Sukhi hotu nibbana paccho hotu sabbityo vivajjantu sabba rogo vinassatu māte bhavatu antarayo sukhi dīghāyuko bhava. May the triple gem bless you. May you live alone in peace. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May you live alone in peace. May you all attain perpetual bliss of Nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay.